Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I have 3 stories to share with you in this very latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam. Starting with this one from the Crypto Basic, CME Group says, mark your calendars for this CFTC regulated XRP product. It is so nice to see investment vehicles that are from traditional finance finally making its way to XRP here in the good old United States, the largest capital market on the entire damn planet. XRP is no longer being artificially suppressed by the government. I also got this. Media personality Dave Portnoy reveals why he invests in XRP, asks, what if XRP is the next Bitcoin? Well, I got an answer for that, actually. What if XRP is the next Bitcoin? There's actually a lot to say on that. But it's nice to see that Dave Portnoy is, and this is what he has stated himself, is part of the XRP army. He has millions of followers, very famous individual. So, Dave, welcome to the XRP army. Then we also have this, and this news broke yesterday. I just haven't got a chance to talk about it yet. Here's from Cointelegraph. Coinbase faces $400 million bill after insider phishing attack. And Attorney John Deaton had something to say about this as well. And, of course, Attorney Deaton himself has been attacked by malicious individuals seeking to steal his identity and his crypto. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Mark your calendars, folks! Let's jump into this first piece. Leading derivatives marketplace CME Group has called on the crypto community to prepare for the imminent launch of CFTC-regulated XRP futures. Taking to X, the derivatives trading platform teased the imminent launch of its XRP futures product yesterday, asking its 677,500 followers to mark their calendars for the rollout. Per the post, CME Group reiterated that users can start trading XRP futures on its platform from May 19th. That's just 3 days from now, actually. 3 days. Recall that CME Group first disclosed plans to launch futures products separately tied to XRP and Solana in January. Yeah, and so they did, and then that went off the website, so maybe they weren't supposed to announce it that soon, but it did end up being a real thing. So 3 days from that now. And you just love to see it. And this would have happened sooner if not for those asshat pricks over at the SEC. So keep in mind, Bitcoin actually first had futures available at the end of 2017. It was either, I want to say, I'm pulling from memory here, I think this is right. I think it was late November 2017 or maybe the beginning part of December. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin had jumped for the first time up to about $10,000. And this is my recollection anyway. And then it was like in the next several weeks, it doubled just about up to almost $20,000. And that was the peak of the cycle. So XRP, about 7.5 years behind Bitcoin in finally getting this. This regular investment vehicle from traditional finance, which Bitcoin has been enjoying, which is just a natural evolution. You know, if there's going to be a coin that's adopted, all these things should get built around it. Finally, we're here. But I believe it firmly. It would have happened sooner if not for the government. But the big one that we're still waiting for is a spot XRP ETF. I think we're going to have tons of those, just a matter of time. And this should be telling, actually. There are a number of coins that firms have filed spot ETFs for. You know, Solana, so on and so. You can go down the list, right? HBAR even. Set aside Bitcoin. If you're just talking about altcoins, there are the most applications for XRP. It's almost twice the nearest competitor. And I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. It might have been Solana, actually. But there's close to twice as many firms seeking to have a spot XRP ETF. And why is that? It's because it's been artificially suppressed for so long. And in an environment, a market, where there's just an actual level playing field, XRP just wins because it actually just works. It turns out it is the best coin in existence for payments, broadly speaking, in the world of crypto. It just is. It just works. It does what Bitcoin cannot do from a technical perspective. And there's a place for what Bitcoin was promised to do by Satoshi Nakamoto, which is to say, perform as a peer-to-peer cash system. There's a place for that. People do want that. And it does cause people to invest in XRP, even just that alone. And there's so many other reasons. There's a reason that XRP, for its entire existence, has been in the top 10 coins by market cap. And there are only 2 other coins for which that's true. Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP, those are the only 3 coins that for their entire existences have always been in the top 10 coins by market cap. That's the market telling you something, is it not? Even despite the SEC attack, XRP never fell out of the top 10. That is like the sum of knowledge and agreement and opinions of speculators on a global scale saying we still, despite the SEC attack, we still believe XRP makes sense. And still, so we're just sitting here playing catch up, but it's all going to come. Do not be surprised if XRP takes that number 2 spot in market cap this market cycle. I will not be surprised in the least. You know who else won't be surprised is Dave Portnoy, very famous and wealthy individual. Net worth of over $100 million. He's publicly stated that many times, so we are all aware of that. So take a look at this. Reads as follows. Widely followed media personality Dave Portnoy, founder of DDTG Global and also, of course, Barstool Sports, has publicly shared why he's bullish on XRP. According to him, his interest in XRP is largely due to FOMO. I love this answer. Which he considers the good kind. I love this so much. This guy's a hoot. Like, if you're not familiar with him, just like Google him. Or hop on, better yet, hop on YouTube, type in his name, and then just like watch videos of him. And because he does like pizza reviews and all sorts of weird stuff. He's got some personality. He's very entertaining to listen to. I will say that. But when it comes to investing in crypto, I don't mean this as an attack on him at all. But he struck me in the past, at least, as like the typical lemming retail investor in certain ways. Maybe he's learned his lesson now, but I remember last cycle, he was finally convinced to get into Bitcoin, and he bought it at so-and-so price, and it ended up plummeting, and he panic sold, and he was just done with it. He's like, I'm out, that was bad, and then he was like, see that Bitcoin thing, blah, blah, and then it just rocketed. So I can't remember what price point it was at when he bought it. I don't know if it was sub $10,000. I can't remember now. But you know it went to up to basically like 70 grand that market cycle. And so I think he may have finally learned his lesson now, which is to say, once you buy, you have to endure the volatility, you have to actually hold. But it's in terms of like researching fundamentals of this and that, that's not really his jam from what I can tell. It's more like if a thing's going, he will notice it and put money in. So I don't think XRP's done so. I don't think that it's unwise what he's done in this case with XRP. But I will say, when you're in the euphoria part of alt season, which we're not in yet, that's when it's dangerous to do that. To FOMO in, that's the bad kind of FOMO. If he's FOMOing in because he finally started paying attention since XRP price started moving, which is what happened here. Okay, that happened with a lot of people. The good news is we're not done with it for this cycle here. But man, it sure pays to understand fundamentals, because then you can get ahead of everyone else. There's a reason that I've been holding XRP literally for 7.5 years and I've never sold a single XRP yet. It's because of the strong fundamentals, and I believe that the market will ultimately catch up. And like, we're in the process of seeing that unfold right now. Anyway, piece continues. Notably, Portnoy shared this perspective during his recent appearance at the 2025 edition of CoinDesk's Consensus Conference. During his session, the media personality discussed the growing overlap between crypto and sports betting. He noted how both appeal to risk-tolerant individuals chasing quick wins. And folks, that's true. In crypto, so many people are chasing the quick win. That's a bad approach, though. The best approach is to have a long-term mindset, whatever it takes. And that is my mindset, because I never know when something's going to go. But I believe that it's going to, and so I'm going to have exposure whenever that happens, even if it's longer than I would prefer, because I don't control when it goes. But he is right about that statement. It's for risk-tolerant people, and a lot of them are chasing quick gains. Not everybody. Like, I'm happy to wait. But here's this quote. There's something about placing a bet, seeing Bitcoin or XRP go up, and just sitting on your couch like, I made that money not working. That's a great feeling, end quote. And I do love. There's truth to that, too. Like I've long said, you're getting paid to not do anything. It's just for some people, it's hard to not get in and out of positions and think that you can outsmart the market. People fall into that trap of, well, it's going down, but it's going to go lower, so I'll sell here and I'll buy even lower, and then I'll have even more, because then I'll buy back, and I'll have even more. And it's like, okay, good luck with that, buddy, because even if you do that right a few times in a row, you miss one, and you could wreck your whole portfolio, man. So I ain't doing that. Anyway, Portnoy openly admitted that his decision to hold XRP is more of the fear of missing out than a deep belief in its fundamentals. Yeah, I don't think he knows a whole lot about the fundamentals. He just sees price going up. But he said, quote, I don't know if there's as much FOMO in Bitcoin now It's so established, but that's why I'm in XRP. It's FOMO. It's just $2.40. What if that's the next Bitcoin? End quote. And by the way, right before that, because I saw the video clip, he said the reason that Bitcoin was going up, and I'm paraphrasing, was because of FOMO. And there is truth to that, and there is some truth to that with XRP. But as far as it being the next Bitcoin, well, I sure as hell hope not. I mean, not from a fundamental perspective anyway, because that would just mean that it's really slow and really costly to engage in transactions, and it loses pretty much all of its utility. It's like Bitcoin then, and Bitcoin is the pet rock of crypto. That's what Bitcoin is. So I hope it's not the next Bitcoin in that regard. Now, I know that's not what he meant. He means in terms of price action. If you're talking about that, it may very well be. Take a look at this. This is market cap of. I love this website. It's a fun website. You get to plug in any crypto and show what a coin would be with the market cap of any other coin. So here you can see what the price of XRP would be if it has the market cap of Bitcoin. And mind you, Bitcoin currently has over a $2 trillion market cap. So what if XRP matched that? What would the price of XRP be? And the answer is $35.26. So if we're saying if that's what qualifies XRP as being the next Bitcoin, and that's obvious, he's talking about price. That's what he's getting at. Well, then it could be. If you're just talking about price, sure. Some analysts think that's going to happen this market cycle, in fact, and that's not crazy. $35.26, and now, of course, mind you, if that happens, Bitcoin's price is going to be way, way, way higher than that. And maybe that even if XRP hits that, maybe it is or isn't this cycle. I don't pretend to know, but that ain't crazy. I'll tell you that. I think, and I've for a long time said this. There are going to be multiple coins that have multi-trillion-dollar market caps. I believe XRP is going to be one of them one day. I mean, if it just keeps getting adopted like this and the utility keeps going the direction it's why the hell wouldn't it? To me, it just seems obvious. So I know that Dave Portnoy, he may not know a ton about the fundamentals and he just FOMO'd in. Well, he may have at least he FOMO'd into something that actually has utility. At least it's not some sort of piece of shit meme coin. You know what I mean? It's actually functionally useful. And by the way, CoinDesk, look at what they were doing here. They shared this video clip. That's Dave Portnoy right there. Said, why does Dave Portnoy own XRP? And that's him with 3.7 million followers. So it's nice to see somebody with that many followers talking about XRP publicly and on X, on social media. So what was his answer? Why does he own XRP? And CoinDesk quoted him as FOMO. It's not like I have some grand belief in it. It's what, $2.40? What if it's the next Bitcoin? End quote. And so that's fine. If he's just doing it for that and he doesn't know anything about it, he doesn't have to have a grand belief in it. That's fine. I happen to, because I've researched it very thoroughly for 7.5 years. But that's fine. He doesn't have to. But I responded to CoinDesk because I wrote, I noticed you didn't mention the part where he said FOMO is the reason people have been buying Bitcoin for years. Of course, they left that out. CoinDesk, because they snipe XRP worse than any other freaking crypto media outlet. It's just trash. So I had to call them out for that, but they're just going to keep doing this stuff. Oh, Lord. Jeez. And it's not even bad. Like, it's just normal. Like, any coin that gets hot, there's a big green candle, there's going to be FOMO. It's not all negative here. But when you frame it like that, it sounds negative. And they completely ignored the part where he said the same thing. He said that's the reason Bitcoin is worth what it's worth today. Anyway. All right. Third story. Coinbase faces $400 million bill after insider phishing attack. Let me ask you, how many of you are getting like text messages and emails that are fake from Coinbase? Not really from Coinbase, but alleging to be from Coinbase. Talking about there's a withdrawal from your account, so-and-so, or whatever it may be. Security alert, blah, blah, blah. Because those are fake. Like, just to be clear, when you get that stuff, you better, if you think it's real, you better contact Coinbase actually on their actual website. But people get this stuff all the time. I get that crap too. I get that stuff too. And it turns out it's probably because information leaked specifically from Coinbase. Coinbase, the world's third largest cryptocurrency exchange, was hit by a $20 million extortion attempt after cyber criminals recruited overseas support agents to leak user data, the company said. According to a May 15th blog post, Coinbase said a group of external actors bribed and coordinated with several customer support contractors to access internal systems and steal limited user account data. These insiders abused their access to computer support systems to steal the account data for a small subset of customers, Coinbase said, adding that no passwords, private keys, funds, or Coinbase Prime accounts were affected. And so that part's good, at least. No passwords, private keys, so on and so forth. So your funds are secure. But the problem is, with this extra information, they can use it to do what they're calling social engineering, to trick you into thinking, the scammers can trick you into thinking they're Coinbase and then giving up information that allows them to steal from you. That's the problem. Anyway, less than 1% of Coinbase's monthly transacting users' data was affected by the attack, the company said. Is it really that small? How many of you, tell me in the comment section below, how many of you are getting hit up by scammers from Coinbase, whether it's an email or a text or whatever it may be, or phone calls? I would love to know. If it's really 1%, okay, but it seems so prevalent all over the world of crypto. I kind of find that hard to believe, but I mean, if it is true, okay. Anyway, after stealing the data, the attackers attempted to extort $20 million worth of Bitcoin from Coinbase in exchange for not disclosing the breach. Coinbase refused the demand. Instead, and I love this, the company offered a $20 million reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the scheme. That is so delightful. It's a ransom thing, effectively. Hey, we won't disclose this breach. You give us $20 million. They turn that right around like, actually, we're going on the hunt for you. $20 million reward for whoever finds out who you are. That's just awesome. I hope that happens. Scammers also often masquerade as recognizable brands to inspire a false sense of trust in their victims. In 2024, Coinbase was the most impersonated cryptocurrency brand by scammers. Coinbase said it will reimburse users who were tricked into sending cryptocurrency to phishing scammers, with expected remediation and reimbursement expenses ranging from $180 million to $400 million. So that's nice. And if they want to, not soil their own brand, even though it's not their fault that they got stolen from because they were bad actors, this is the right move. It's a very expensive move, but make your customers whole if they fell for the trick. They're actually doing that. I don't think most exchanges would do that. So credit where it's due, honestly. Whatever you think of Coinbase, hey, credit where it's due on that one. The crypto exchange disclosed the estimate in an 8K filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on May 15th, noting that expenses relate to voluntary customer reimbursements and other remediation efforts. Yeah, and so to think that you were going to get a publicly traded company to fall victim and just give you $20 million, the odds of that were always very low. I'll just say that. Publicly traded company, I don't think so. And so John Deaton had something to say about this because he's been attacked also. John Deaton wrote, "To every person who has an account on Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Uphold, or any other exchange, the hackers are very sophisticated. You may get an email from Coinbase support or Uphold support, but it really isn't from them. I've had these emails sent to me and they look official. Don't click the link and never input your password. They attempt to create a sense of urgency by making you think you will lose your assets if you don't respond to the email. Stay safe." Yep. There you go. So just be cautious out there. This is really just absolutely a wild story. But I love the aggressiveness and how they're trying to go. I really hope they find these scammers because I just hate pieces of shit like that. They just destroy. They do everything they can to be leeches on society and take and take and take and steal. I cannot handle people like that. It's a shame. It's a small subset of the population, but I just despise people that lack that type of moral compass where they feel comfortable stealing like this. Get the hell out of society. We do not need you, frankly. So anyway, I hope they find them. I'm glad that Coinbase is doing the right thing and it'll make their customers whole. That's all good news. That's above and beyond. So there you go. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, all right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.